Oh, okay. Okay, we're here. Hi, everybody. Sorry, I am late this morning. Technical issues are holding me up today, but we're here for the show. Welcome to the channel, Stock Markets with Bruce. I'm Bruce. They call me Uncle Bruce on this channel um, because I don't know why they just did. They started calling me Uncle Bruce in January of 2021. So it kind of stuck during the GameStop craziness. I was trying to explain what was going on in the markets, let people in on what was happening. And so there it is. So Uncle Bruce is here. I'm here to try to explain to you what's happening in the markets in plain English to help you understand just what the heck is going on and why this stuff happened the way it does. Try to guide you through what all the highs and lows of the marketplace, and to explain to you and help guide you how you can make money from this market by becoming an option writer and not an option gambler. I'm making you the casino rather than allowing you to be the gambler on the floor of the casino. The casino always wins and never goes away. It's always there. Sometimes casinos go away; they get imploded and they rebuild bigger and newer casinos. That's what happens in Vegas. They take old properties and over time they turn them into new properties. And so the Strip is completely different looking than it was in 1970, 1990. 2010. It just evolves and evolves and evolves. It's amazing. It's just amazing. Casinos don't lose, they win. Phenomenal. So welcome, casinos, to the show today. I'm glad you're here. Look, the market is off again this morning, but not as bad as it was earlier today. It's off. I'm showing the Dow down about 77 points or so in the pre-market. We have about 37 minutes to go before we open for the day. I had seen it below 100. Not suggesting that it's on a tear or anything like that. It's just this is where it's hanging out at right now. Down about, here we go, down 82 now. The S&P 500 futures are off about 12 and a half points, and on Nasdaq they're down about 61 points. Now that translates to about 1/4% in losses for the Dow, 0.27 on S&P. Let's call that a quarter point. That's close enough. And the Nasdaq 0.37, just under zero point 0.4 of 1 percentage point. So it's not a catastrophic pullback. It's just we just have people cashing in right now on gains that they've enjoyed in the last month or so. Markets have hit pretty high numbers. Oil, by the way, is up 27 cents a barrel. It's not going anywhere. But there is a realization beginning to click in. I guess it's an alert button. There you go. The alert button is basically there are professionals out there who are kind of saying, "Listen, I was trying to tell you this last week, but nobody was listening to me in the party. The music was so loud that I was trying to tell all of you guys while you were partying it up and boozing it up and doing whatever. You weren't paying attention to something that was kind of happening outside the house. The cops were driving up and down, and I think they're going to shut our party down. Look, the thing I was trying to tell you about that you didn't want to hear because I took longer than 8 seconds to tell you, which is what I'm doing right now. I'm taking longer than 8 seconds to tell you what you need to know to test you whether you're paying attention or not. We might not have 4 interest rate drops next year. That might not be happening because by the time the party really got going the other night, like on Friday when the market was really rocking and rolling, there was talk that there would be 4 interest rate drops in 2024. We'd go from the 5% level where the Fed is now to the 2% level by the end of next year. Oh, wow, just incredible. That's not going to happen. Sorry, that's people just feeding on themselves, that they're gorging on any kind of good news, so they're making it up, and that's really what it is. They're making it up. There is no policy of interest rate cuts at all for 2024. Not one, not one hint of an interest rate cut is really coming. The only people that are insisting that there's an interest rate cut going to happen in 2024, the only ones are the gamblers themselves in the bond market, where all the treasuries trade and all the bonds trade, and that not only the government treasuries and bonds, but all bonds from all corporations, cities and states in the United States, all provincial bonds in Canada, all the bonds from the UK, all the bonds from Europe. The world bond market is gambling more and more, and just they're just so full of themselves and they're so sure of themselves that the world is going to have much lower interest rates next year than where we are right now. And so what we're noticing, if you look at a quote, or you hear about the 10-year treasury bill that's out there right now, the 10-year treasury is showing an interest rate of about 4.2%. And the market is convinced, the bond market is convinced. We got up to 5.1 last month. We're at 4.2. We, the bond market, are telling the central bankers, this is where your rates are going. They're going to go lower. And the central bankers are going, say what? You're telling us where interest rates are going? Really? That you think that's how this game works? You think that interest rate policy is designed by the street? Um, let's go back in time, just like a year and a half, 2 years ago, when interest rates were at zero. The street was saying to the bond market, to the world, interest rates are zero, money is plentiful, borrow as much as you want, zero interest rate transfer balances between credit cards, not a problem, 1 year interest free, mortgages are being offered with unbelievable bonuses. Sign up with a mortgage with us, we'll give you $1,000 in credit. Banks in Canada were offering thousands of dollars in giveaways if you transferred your mortgage from one bank to another. They were so desperate for the business. Please give us the chance to lend you money that you never miss a payment on. We'll give you money back. In Germany, you could get a mortgage for negative interest rates. That's right. You can borrow 400,000 euros for your new house that you're remodeling or whatever you're doing, you're buying, and we'll give you negative 0.25% interest rates. You'll owe us 398,000 euros at the end of so many years. Isn't that great? That's how much money was being tossed around. And then the Federal Reserves of the world said, inflation is a bit of a problem. We're going to raise interest rates. And they did. And the street was thinking, well, yeah, they'll raise rates to 1%. 1.5% maybe, and that'll be that. And then it'll go back to zero. And it didn't. It went to 2, to 2.5. It didn't go back. It went to 3, 3.5. It didn't go back. And the bankers are saying, we're going to keep raising these rates. The central bankers, if inflation doesn't stop, we're going to keep raising rates. And the market just didn't believe it. They said, no, it's temporary. It's just, by 2023, by June 2023, summer of 2023, you watch, those rates will fall right back down. And they went up, and they went up. We're now at 5%. And no one at the Fed is guaranteeing that rates are going to drop this year. They're hinting that, well, we've topped out for the moment. Yeah, right now we're topped out. And at the street's going, there it is, right there. There's the sign we've been waiting for. We've topped out. Well, that's temporary, which means it's temporary that it could go back down, or it's temporary that it might go higher. Have you thought of that possibility? No, the bond market is not thinking of that possibility, because it will not let go of the fantasy that we can go back to where it was, and money is free. We can lend out all we want to all kinds of players, and if we overlend to certain segments of the economy, the government will bail us out if we screw it up, because they've done it before. They'll do it again. They're afraid of a banking collapse. That's the game. That's the big game by the big players. And if you watch now and follow today analytical discussions of where we're headed with policy and interest rates and everything else, what are you hearing more and more of? Here's what I'm hearing. Okay, I'm an old man, and I'm hearing words I don't want to hear. These are words I don't like to hear. I'm hearing words like little expressions like well, we're focusing a lot more now with our clientele on the private sector lending market, corporate finance. We're paying close attention to opportunities in the corporate financing area. What does that mean in plain English? Like I'm your plain English guy? Here's the deal, okay? If I give money as a bond investor, if I put money into a US or a Canadian or a British bond, German bond, high quality country government debt, all right, I give them money, those instruments will pay me 4.2%, just like I said, on a 10-year note. But if I give money to a company like Carnival Cruise Lines, I can get 7, 8, 9% return on the money. Now, I'm an asset manager. I manage people's money. All right. I manage money for corporate pension funds. I manage money for insurance companies. I manage savings monies for individual people through all kinds of plans and what have you. There are pension fund managers out there who are trying to generate a return on the capital they're managing so that they have capital to grow that they can then pay out to retirees and keep the game going. Well, if I can get 4.2% from the Federal Reserve, and that's what the bond market is telling me I can get, and the inflation rate right now is 3.5%, I'm only about half a percentage point to 1 percentage point ahead of inflation. So my growth return, my return is 1 to 1.5% net on my money, really. But if I go into Carnival's bonds or other corporate bonds that pay 7, 8, 9, 10%, my gains are higher, much more higher. And so the trick now is to pick the sectors of the economy that I want to lend money into. Maybe I go into the tourism business. Maybe I go into the airline business. Maybe I lend money to real estate speculators. Maybe I lend money to AI software creators. Maybe I lend money to chip manufacturers. Where do I go to move my money? And this is now where more and more and more and more high-end money managers are being quoted as saying, well, we're kind of scouring the market for the best place to get returns. Whereas this old man says, no, you shouldn't be doing that. You should be looking where to put your money, where it's the safest place to be, where you will be. You are not risking your capital. Forget about not getting the interest on the money. That's step number one of problems. What about the actual money you lent whoever you lent it to? If you lend money to the American people through American bonds, Canadian bonds, British people, Germans, the Italians, French, at least you have countries that are going to back up the principal. Chances are you're going to get your money back from the principal. But if you're going to lend money to corporations that are trying to grow through a slowdown we have going on in a various sector, you are gambling on a sector. You're gambling your capital, not your return. You're gambling your capital. This is becoming the new normal. This is becoming the big talk because the convention is rates are going to come down, which makes these corporate high-paying bonds really more valuable. Their yields will come down with the big yields, which means the bond prices, the bonds we bought, will be worth more money. And as a bond investor, I want to make a return on my money and I want to gain on the bonds I'm buying. And the US Treasury just isn't good enough for me because it's already gone from 5.1 to 4.2. And I want to get something else. And I'm looking at this going, you guys are in big trouble. But here's something for you to think about. I was on the air last night, as I am every Monday. I was on the air last evening on my other channel, Traveling with Bruce. And you would think that on that channel, I would be talking about traveling with Bruce. And yet I had to have a chat with my viewers last night about one of their favorite topics, which is cruise ships and the cruise lines. And I had a little story that I uncovered on all about the cruise lines. I uncovered a little story from our friends at Carnival. Now, Carnival, as most of you might not know or might know, Carnival is not just the Carnival cruise line with those ships with the whale tail funnels at the back. Carnival has a whole bunch of other brands that they own and operate. Okay, Carnival owns and operates this cruise line right here. Here's a photo of the Cunard ship. This is in Melbourne, Australia. That's the Queen Mary II, the big ocean liner, about 3,500 people. They own Princess Cruise Lines. They own Holland America. They own and operate Costa Cruises. Carnival is a big outfit. This, by the way, is another shot of Melbourne here, the ports in Melbourne. There's a shot of Portland, ship rebuilding facilities and all that kind of stuff. Here's a shot of the Carnival panorama without the whale tail. That ship is having engine problems. They had to take the ship to Victoria, take the whale tail off the top of it, and now sail it back to Portland, fix the engine. Then they'll sail it back to Victoria, put the whale tail back on it, and then ship it all the way down to Long Beach and go back in business. This ship is out of business 6 weeks. And that is 4,000 passengers a week for 6 weeks, not on a Carnival ship. This is costing Carnival a ton of money. No one at the public company is talking about it. No analyst is talking about it to tell you that Carnival's earnings aren't coming in. It's just because of one ship. But let me tell you about something else that's happening at Carnival. This is a little interesting little ditty. They made an announcement to offer their customers a way to save money. This is the new trick in cruising. This is the new trick that these cruise lines have incorporated. Carnival, with just their brand Carnival, 25 ships out of the 100 that they own, complete, total. They said to their customers, we have a way for you to save money. If you were to book a cruise right now, and you were to order right now your internet package on board the ship, you can save money by pre-ordering and prepaying for your internet service right now. What they don't tell you is that we're bumping the price of our internet services by $3 a day per person, and you must take the $3 a day charge for the entire cruise. So mathematics says if you're on a 1-week cruise and you want the internet package, whether you prepay or pay for it the day of departure or order it when you're on the ship, no matter how, when, and where, it'll be $3 a day more than it used to be. This is how you raise prices. You raise prices by offering a sale for the services by letting people lock in prices now for the next 6 months without letting them know that that's actually $3 higher than it was 2 weeks ago. We need the money. Now, I did some rough calculations. How much money is this for Carnival? $3 a day for internet. I figured out that there are ships in the Carnival family that have anywhere from 2,500 passengers to 5,000 passengers, depending on which ship you're on. So I figured that 2,000 internet packages would be acquired per day per ship in their system. Now they have 25 ships. So here's what I did. I figured, all right, $3 a day for 2,000 passengers a day is $6,000 a day more in cash per ship. Multiplied by 7 days to give you a weekly amount of money, we're talking $42,000 a week more per ship for internet revenues. Costs them nothing to collect this. It's just a higher price. For the year, 52 weeks, it works up to $2.1 million, almost $2.2 million per ship. Carnival has 25 ships with the name brand Carnival on it. On an annual basis, that is $54.6 million in added cash flow. Carnival operates over 100 ships between all of its brands. Multiply 54 million times 4. And you have $216 million a year, American dollars a year, coming into Carnival's pocket to raise the internet charge per passenger by $3 a day. And I'm using 2,000 devices on a ship, and I know I'm low. It's probably closer to 3,000 devices, because how many of you travel with an iPhone and a laptop and or an iPad? We're traveling with more than one device, and with kids, we're definitely traveling with more than one device. If it's 50% more usage than I predicted, and I'm certain it is, then it isn't 214 million or 16 million or whatever it is per year. It's $325 million a year of added revenue coming into just Carnival, right? Just Carnival. Now, Carnival owes the market, the banking market, I don't know, 25 billion, 35 billion dollars in bonds that they've issued. They used to have less than 10 billion in debt before the pandemic. Now it's over 30 plus. They're paying interest charges of anywhere from 7 to 14% per bond that they issued at various times during the pandemic. They used to just roll over old debt into new debt, just like the U.S. Treasury does. We need 500 million to pay off 30-year-old bonds. We're going to issue new 30-year-old bonds, but instead of raising 500 million, 500 billion, we'll raise 600 billion. Well, in the case of Carnival, instead of $500 million, we're going to raise $1 billion. And that 500 extra million will cover our costs to park our ships in the international waters while COVID is going on. Well, that lasted a long, long time. And so Carnival has burned off capital to just keep their ships alive for what we have going on right now. Cruising is back and people want to go on a cruise. Problem is that the typical cruise from 2019 versus a typical cruise in 2023 and 2024, the cost differential between a 2019 one-week cruise and a 2024 one-week cruise, 50% more expensive for the traveler. 50, 50, not 15, 50. And this cash that is coming into Carnival is going out in higher costs to Carnival, higher costs for staff, higher costs for food, higher costs for services, you name it, and higher interest charges. And there are money professionals out there that I just mentioned a few minutes ago who are saying to their clientele, we will get you the best returns we can with respect to your money. And we'll have a mix of portfolios, a mix of bonds in your portfolio that will consist of US bonds and corporate bonds. And more corporate money keeps being made available to the Carnivals of the world, to the Norwegian cruise lines of the world, to the Royal Caribbeans of the world. None of these cruise lines can pay down their 35 billion each in debt. They can't. Carnival bringing in 300 million more sounds like a ton of money, doesn't it? 300 million. When you're carrying 30 billion in bonds, and your interest rates go up just 1% a year, just 1%. That's not happening at Carnival. Well, let's just say 1%. 1% on 35 billion. You know how much money that is? $350 million. These guys are running into rollovers of their debt from 5 and 6 years ago that they now are rolling over this year and next year from their 3, 4, 5% range that they used to pay to the 8, 9, 10, 12% that they're going to pay. And they're now looking at 5% higher interest charges because they're a corporate entity and they're not cash rich. They're flowing cash. Yeah. Oh, yeah. But it's in and out. It's in and out. The net profit to Carnival is pennies on the dollar. And this is assuming there will be no economic slowdown. There will be no glitch in the system. There will be no international incident that will keep cruise ships away from certain territories of the world. Just the other day, Carnival, again, they were in the news when the city of Melbourne, through the government in Australia, the state government where Melbourne is located, which I think is Victoria State, could be wrong, they announced without any advance notice that the per day charge to cruise ship operators to bring cruise ships into Melbourne, for every passenger you have on board, you have to pay a port fee, a port charge fee. It's an admission. It's an admittance fee per person, not per ship. It used to be 28.50 Australian dollars, which is one of the highest in the world, by the way. It's now going to $32 Australian. It's a $3.50 hit per passenger. Now you bring in a 4,000 passenger cruise ship, and you have to pay $3.50 more to the government of Australia for the right to bring a ship in per passenger. We're talking a ton of money here. Carnival last year paid over $220+ million to the government of Australia in port charges. What did Carnival do when they heard this? They said, we're boycotting Melbourne. We're not going to visit Melbourne anymore. All the cruises that we've pre-sold for 2024, 2025, will not include Melbourne anymore. They're not going to go there. We'll go to Sydney instead. We'll go to Perth. We'll go to Brisbane. We'll change our itineraries and avoid Melbourne. Screw you, state government of is it Victoria? This is bad news for Victoria, or bad news for Melbourne, because Melbourne receives $370 million in economic benefit from cruise ship tourists. They will not go there anymore. That means the Princess Line, the Cunard Line, the Carnival Line, they're all not coming in. I can guarantee you that Royal Caribbean and anyone else will follow. They'll go, oh, I'm not going in either. We're not just going to pay this. We have to get this from our customers. We're already soaking them $3 a day in internet charges additionally. Now we're going to have to soak them $350 just to visit one port. Guess what's going to happen if we pay it? Every other port will raise their rates too. We have to send the message. This is what's going on in the industry, in the cruise industry. The cruise industry is vulnerable to any government deciding we're going to charge more for tourism. Venice is charging a tourism fee. Barcelona now wants to charge a tourism fee. There are certain cities that don't want any more tourists. Melbourne wants tourists. They just want cash flow to help improve their facilities, but they're not interested in negotiating a deal with the cruise lines. They just want to arbitrarily impose the tax because we're the government. We can do that. Well, you can ask for fees, but we're not going to pay them. If we don't show up, we don't have to pay them. And so, oops, we have a problem, Houston. Now what? Who's going to blink first in this regard? It's insane. So for Carnival and for other operations like this, their 120 billion in debt that they're collectively carrying here is possibly vulnerable from time to time to higher rates and the ability to maybe or maybe not be able to raise enough capital. This internet charge, if they are sending me an email saying to Jennifer and I, we're going to charge you $3 a day each more. That's $6 a day times 7 days. That's $42. We're going to charge you $42 to register your 2 iPhones on our ship. Guess what we will do? We'll shut them off. We won't even use them because, frankly, if we're on a 7-day cruise, day 2, day 3, day 4, we're stopping somewhere. I'll get off the ship with my phone. I'll go to the onshore bar over here, Senior Frogs or whatever, free internet if I buy a drink. And I'll spend an hour or two, check with my folks, let them know, alive and well, we're shutting off the phones again because internet, we're not going to pay that price. And people will just not use their devices on these ships if they get too ridiculously expensive. There's a shortfall that Carnival wasn't counting on because it's not a mandatory. It's like we're including Wi-Fi with our fare. We just raised our fare $42 a couple. They're not doing that. They're doing it as an add-on. So interesting things going on there. We'll have to follow that. As I said, going back to this market, interest rate, the interest rate market and the bond market and the inflationary trends and unemployment are all watched by the Federal Reserve. And the Federal Reserve will see just where money is going and where economic growth is and isn't. And there are certain parts of the US and Canadian and European and G20 economies that are vulnerable to a tough time, to issues. One of which was, and right now is, real estate. Commercial real estate is in a real funk in America and Canada. Housing real estate, the private home real estate is in trouble. Who in their right mind wants to build a 10-unit apartment building in a city where they might be experiencing a 5 to 10% per year property tax increase because the city is falling on hard times because they're not getting the tax revenue from downtown anymore? The offices are empty. That means the burbs have to pay. Why would you build a 10-unit apartment building in a city where they are dying for apartments? There's no shortage of renters. The problem is that the cost of building the unit, funding the unit with high interest rates, and now carrying the unit with endless taxation that will never stop. Why would you take that risk? And so there's a lot of buildings on the drawing board, but are not being shovel readied. This is a problem. We have people who can't find affordable housing, and those who are landlords and who have apartment buildings are thinking to themselves, I can raise my rent, and I got to raise my rent because the cost per unit is costing me more now than it was 4 or 5 years ago. Taxation, electricity rates have gone stupid, natural gas prices have gone up, inflation for my staff to maintain the building, it's all gone up. Even cutting the lawn, I used to be able to pay a kid $20 to get, now it's $40. I mean, removing the snow, garbage collection, environmental fees for the environmental blueprint of our park. All these have gone up. Landlords are going, I gotta add $200 a month to the rent. Oh, and by the way, I can add $200 a month to the rent, maybe more, because where are you going to go? You're in my building and you can't find another apartment like what I'm offering you. I might have to raise it $300 a month and I'll get it. Time for me to actually make some more money on my investment. This is an issue all over the place, and governments are now under pressure to provide housing for people. This is what I find laughable, that governments can solve the housing problem. Governments cannot solve the housing problem. Governments can only give conditions that would encourage private businesses to solve the housing problem by building more housing. But why would you want to build a house or a condo or an apartment tower if everything is against you? That's the last thing you're going to do. You're going to try to get returns in any other way you can. It's an interesting thing going on out there, and it's coming to the surface more and more. And so now the question is 2024, just around the corner. We're into tax loss selling right now. Will be for a few more weeks, of course. Where do you put your money and where do you go with it? You can't just put it in the market blindly, because the market, all 500 S&P stocks aren't going up next year. As a matter of fact, many of you know, the only reason that the Dow Jones, the S&P 500, and the NASDAQ is where it's at is because of 7 companies, the Magnificent Seven. These companies are trading at much higher PE multiples than they're worth. They're far outperforming the rest of the market. They're attracting most of the capital coming into the market. This is December and January, the 2 months where most of the money that comes into the stock market comes into the market now. Year-end pension upgrades, topping ups, 401k top-ups, IRA top-ups. In Canada, it's called the RRSP season. Trillions of dollars are coming into retirement plans that must be now reinvested into investments to earn a return. And the question is, where does money go out of and into to take advantage of the best returns? And the S&P 500 is actually the S&P 7. The other 493 stocks are secondary thoughts. They are the ones being given secondary consideration. And that's not good. When the apple is shiny on the outside, but the middle is all rotted out, this can't be good for apple pie, okay? Because sooner or later, you got to cut it open and do something with it. What is going to happen? We're down 134 on the Dow with 6 minutes to go. We're down 18 on S&P. We're down 77 on NASDAQ. A third of a point to a half a point drop off. It's not serious, but it is telling. I believe we have a balloon that is leaking a little bit of air. It's like a bike. You can ride it, but boy, that tire is getting a little low, isn't it? You can still ride it, but any big bump, we're going to damage the rim. We don't want that to happen. See how this plays out. We have all kinds of other issues on the periphery here that have to be dealt with. No matter where in the world you live, we're all in it together. We've got the Israeli issue, we have the Ukrainian issue, the China-Taiwan issue, we have Russia and its illegal oil sales, we have the Iranians creating all kinds of havoc everywhere. It's not a calm, happy place. There's issues all over the place, and then there's the internal strife that is inside almost every country in the world. And so we have heads being put together. It ain't pretty, but it is what it is. How's this market going to react? We're going to find out in a few minutes. If you're an option writer, if you follow this channel because you write options, and you've taken classes that I've offered, and you've had one-on-ones with me that have helped you to figure out where you're at in this world. You're hanging out here as a member of this channel. You're one of these green headline people. Maybe the market is working very, very well for you. And I have good news. I think it's going to continue to do well for you because there are desperado gamblers out there who are trying to find a way to take $5,000 or $10,000 that they're somehow scraping together. They want to turn that into $30,000 to $50,000 in a real hurry because they have $200,000 problems. And there are a lot of folks out there, a lot of families out there who are under unbearable financial pressure to numbers that will make your hair stand up on end. And they've got 5 or 10 or 15 grand to gamble with, and they're down to that. They're down to gambling now for a long shot payoff. And one of the ways to do that is play the options market. And that is where $2 trillion a week is available to be had from option gamblers. Now, some of this money is certainly institutional. There are many institutions that use the option market for many reasons. Insurance is the big one. Here on this channel, option premiums are collected by viewers of this channel by selling options up here and then buying them back down here. And we take what's called the spread. And kids around here enjoy shrinkage of options big time. And there's 2 ways options shrink in value. One, time, just the passage of time. These contracts have a finite amount of days to live before they don't live anymore. And so their value depreciates as their time runs out. And the second thing that makes options drop in price, a falling stock market or a falling stock, one stock, depending on which one it is. Or it could be the SPY index, the spiders, or the triple Qs. There are options written by viewers here on spiders and Qs and Tesla and NVIDIA and iron condors and everything else. People here are benefiting from shrinkage, and they're loving every minute of it. And I welcome all of you to the party. Welcome you all to the channel today. It's great to have you here. Those of you who have become subscribers of this channel, thank you very much for becoming a subscriber of our little community here, following us when we're on the air. I really appreciate it. It's a wonderful thing. Those of you who have become members of this channel, my goodness, that you folks, I commend you all. There are 2 levels of membership: the Chillin' with Uncle Bruce membership and the Gold Bagel level membership. Those of you who are Chillin' with Uncle Bruce, those members, you get to join us here and make commentary on the show as I blab away. You can talk to each other, you can talk to me. But during market hours, only members of this channel are able to participate. Gold Bagel members, you get a whole bunch more. You pay more to be a Gold Bagel member, but you get more. You get a daily trading tip every day, which today has been behind getting out. You get a trade alert show before this show, and Wednesday nights, Primetime Live with Uncle Bruce. A small gathering of goldies come together every Wednesday and can ask me questions about their portfolios or the markets or positions or trading theory after the bell closes, 7 o'clock Eastern time. And it's a pretty good hour of sharing ideas and thoughts. And again, it's a benefit for Gold Bagel members to take advantage of. It costs you $25 a month to be a Gold Bagel member of this channel. The daily trade tips that we go over here, these can pay off thousands of dollars just on one trade. You're getting every day that I'm on the air, you're getting a trade tip. So if one of my trade tips benefits you, you'll more than get this back and tons and tons more. Classes are available for you anytime you're ready. Come on over to my channel, to my website, stockmarketswithbruce.ca. Here it is right here. And if you pop in over there, you will join us. You'll find my homepage right here. You can then click the class section, which is right there. And then you can start looking at the classes. And you can take whichever classes you want, but I would recommend starting at number one. There's 1, 2, there's 3, there's 4, and 5, and 6, and we cover it all. 7 and 8, we talk about poor man covered calls. We talk about credit spreads. We talk about the psychology of the markets. We talk about stink bids, stink offers, the 90-10 rule. We cover all kinds of stuff because you cannot possibly learn how to do options in a 15-minute course. Any of you out there who think that in 15 minutes, you can take a course by some of these so-called experts out there and be an expert in how to write options, you are sadly mistaken. This is as complicated in theory as perhaps becoming a lawyer or a doctor or a plumber or an electrician. This takes time, and the classes are designed at about 2 hours in length each one, to really give me a big overview of what the market is about and how options really work and why they exist in the first place and who really is into them and who isn't. And this gives you a real idea of just how the market functions. And if you're serious about making money as an option writer, you better be serious about learning how it works. And that's for 16 lessons, and lesson 17 this Saturday is available for you to enjoy as well. This Saturday at noon Eastern, lesson number 17 is being offered by yours truly. The board is right there. I just got to unpack this board and get it set up. Jen and I will be conducting lesson number 17 starting at noon Eastern. And if you want in on that, make a donation to the PayPal account down below, and send me a private email and say, Bruce, I just sent you $150 and I'm in for lesson number 17. Please add me to the list, and we'll add your email address to the group, and we'll get you the link. About half an hour before we start, 15 minutes before we start, I'll send the link out to you, and you can join the class whenever you want. All right. And when the class is over, you will eventually get, a couple days later, you'll get your own edited final version of the class that will eventually be on the website that anyone else can buy after the fact, but you'll be the first group of people to get class 17 and enjoy its benefits. We're going to talk about rollover strategies. We're going to talk about how to take losing option trades and option trades that are not working out like they should, how to fix bad option writes, how to correct option positions and make them positive from negative. This is incredibly valuable for those of you who found yourselves creating condors, credit spreads, what have you, poor man cover calls, where you're just not getting the return you want, or it's just not quite working out. The market has gone against you. How and what do I do to fix this? I get private emails all the time from people telling me, I got this problem, I've got this problem, I've got this problem. And now it's going in a class. And so it's there for all to enjoy, all to see. And by the time the class is over, you should be a whole lot more confident that even when a market goes violently one way or the other, for whatever silly reason it does what it does, you can just relax and go, okay, all right, I'm not going to be fazed by this. I have solutions to this problem. And that is what becoming a professional asset manager is all about. Thank you all for joining me. Larry, thank you for ringing the bells. We're open. The market has begun. We're trading for another day of fun. It's always fun around here. Thank you all for joining me. I hope you get a lot richer today. You all deserve it. We are showing the Dow off about 91 or so in the actual market. Let's take a look here and see where things really are at. Thank you all for joining me today. I am watching here early quotations come through, and keep in mind that these first 5 minutes, we get a lot of gyrations that sometimes may not make sense. Thank you all. Let's see what's going on. JR, the bells. Go on there, Larry boy from Luca. Thank you, Larry from JR, for hitting the bells for us. Let's get on with it. Let's take a look at some pricing here. We're down 95 on the Dow, about 15 points lower on the S&P, 54 lower on NASDAQ. The spiders are down 150 to 455.18. The Qs are down 191 to 384. GameStop is showing a price of $16.24, which is down 74 cents after touching as low as $16.11, but the volume is only 831,000. Not quite. I don't know why it's down. It's just down. There could be a shorter attacking it. There could be someone who's got a sell order that's getting blown out. I don't know the answer, but we'll figure it out. We've got spiders. Sorry, we got SoFi right now at 787. It's just down 9 cents. Nothing serious there. We've got Apple up 274, but Netflix down $3. We have Adobe down $12 to 592. We've got AI down 42 cents. Nvidia is off $1.44. Tesla's up 178. We've got, let's see, other notables. Unity down 20 cents, Google down 89 cents, Moderna down 21, Cisco down 25. Pfizer's up 31, and IBM is up 27 cents. HBQ up 13, Microsoft down 222 to 366.92. We've got Amazon down 99 cents, Home Depot down 251, the Vanik Vector ETF down 130. That's the computer chip ETF. Goldman down 320. Boeing is off 170 a share. The Meta, Facebook down $3, 316.98. Target is down 44 cents. JP Morgan is off 25. Costco down 59, Walmart down 41, Disney down 64, American Airlines down 19 cents, DraftKings down 83 cents, AMC off 18 cents to 731, Royal Caribbean down 90 to 113.31. Those are the very early mornings quotes at the moment. GameStop seems to be popping back a little bit now. 1626 to 1630 range. The low on GameStop 1607 for 10 seconds? I don't know. A trade, a single quick trade. Did someone get blown out of stock first thing in the morning? And now we're coming the other direction. Wouldn't surprise me. I've noticed lately that GameStop volume is approaching 20 million a day from the normal 2 million a day neighborhood, 3 million a day that we had just a couple of weeks ago. So we're up almost 10 times the volume now on GameStop. The earnings come out tomorrow after the bell. The question is, will the stock violently fluctuate here? And could it run $2 today to 18.50? Between 16 and 18.50, and tomorrow could it pop through 2021? And then the earnings are released, and how does the street feel about that? Is it sell on the news, buy on the news, catch shorters with their pants down on the news, and it runs to 26? I can't tell you. Well, I'll be here. You'll be here. We'll watch it together. Thank you all. There you go. That's the story. I'm sticking to all of this. We're down 148 down on the Dow, a little more of a pullback, 0.4%. S&P down 14, down a third of a point, and NASDAQ is down just about an eighth of a percentage point, down 0.13, 18-point drop on NASDAQ. Nothing serious there. We've got oil up 49 cents to 73.53. That's the story as I see it here. Wells Fargo is going to book up to nearly $1 billion in fourth quarter severance costs. This is good news for SoFi in a roundabout way. If you think about it, Wells Fargo is one of America's largest retail banking center operators. Period. They have branches everywhere. They are shutting branches. They are laying off staff left, right, and center. They have to pay these people out. Some of these employees are 10 and 20-year employees. Some of these folks get 3-6 months severance. Some of them get vested pension plan payouts and all kinds of stuff. And so it costs Wells Fargo money up front to let people go. Now, the long term of it is that their overheads are lower so that they will have higher profits later. That's the strategy here. And the strategy is to lower their actual physical footprint and go more digital. Well, SoFi is purely digital. And this it should show everyone on this channel what they already know. It's being confirmed again and again and again. SoFi is kicking butt when it comes to their growth curve of 40% per quarter. I mean, they're blowing up their numbers of members dramatically because people are shifting out of physical banking into digital banking. And fintech is the way of the future. And every university graduate, every year, The millions of kids graduating college, going into the workforce, and the millions of kids coming out of high school who are not going to college, going right into the workforce, these kids get paid by their whoever employer is. And pretty well every one of these kids do not get paid in a physical piece of paper called a paycheck. That term soon will be eliminated from existence. The so-called paycheck doesn't exist. It's now just an expression. The actual thing is gone. It's electronic transfer. Everyone is getting paid more and more by electronic transfer. Well, why don't you just electronically transfer your dough to SoFi, where you're electronically doing all your banking anyway? Do any of you guys still get in the mail your your power bill from your electrical company? Do any of you still get a bill in the mail for your garbage pickup or your electricity bill or your even your property taxes? I would imagine many of you don't even get property tax bills anymore in the mail. How little mail do many of you now actually get with respect to bills? When's the last time you wrote a check for anything? Think about it. A check? When's the last time you wrote a check? It's all electronic and it's going SoFi's direction. And with $1 billion write off by Wells Fargo, this is purely a speck of what's going on. There's much more than that happening across all banking worldwide. SoFi, every time a billion less or a billion has to be used to write off employees, that's a sign that SoFi's business is exploding. This is where the growth is coming from. Every time SoFi grows, someone else shrinks because the banking system is the banking system. It's just so large. It's a finite size to the banking system that might grow organically every year, but there's only so many depositors, only so many human beings that have bank accounts. But they're shifting to SoFi. Many more shifting in away from the traditional brick and mortar banks. Remember the big deal that we talked about here in 2021? If you were around 3 years ago, the big deal in January 2021 was that GameStop was going to go out of business because they're a brick and mortar company. Remember? That was the whole reason why there were 70 plus million shares shorted on GameStop when only 54 million could possibly change hands. The 70 million wagerers were betting against GameStop's existence, that they weren't going to be around. And it didn't hurt them that the COVID was going on and every shopping mall was shut down. I mean, talk about having everything going in your favor in the summer of 2020. GameStop didn't have a single store open anywhere because of the COVID. And so, of course, the shorters were certain that we're going out of business. Well, now look at the banking scenario. The banks like Wells Fargo, Bank of America, and so many others are closing branches. Physical locations are being shut down, and it's a non-stop quarter after quarter after quarter after quarter strategy because you cannot make money as a financial institution if you have physical branches in every little town in America or Canada. Royal Bank of Canada, CIBC, Bank of Montreal, TD Bank. In Canada, there are layoffs. 1% of all bank employees of CIBC were laid off or announced just last week they're being let go. This is industry-wide, worldwide. SoFi is hiring. SoFi is expanding. SoFi's deposit base is surging. Members, their business, their offerings of business will continue to surge. On a day like today with a down dip, you just ignore the dip. As a matter of fact, you look at SoFi at 776 and you say, hey, it's on sale from yesterday. Oh, or I could write a cash secured put against this thing. I could write a $10 cash secured put and haul in some nice premium money here. Yeah, I missed it last week. All of a sudden, I'm being given a chance for a moment. Maybe yes. They're not going by way of the dodo bird. Very interesting what's going on. Welcome everybody to the party. I'm glad you're here. Thanks for joining me today. If you have any comments or questions, fire away. I'll do my best to get to some of these if I can, but a lot of these questions are definitely being answered by existing viewers, which I love you. Alex, number 100, see you, Gretzky. Bruce, you've got 100 thumbs ups. Brian, wow. It was 3 million candle on Tesla. GameStop down 4%. We got GameStop now at 1589. This is a new low of the session. Let me just see, well, how low did it get here? 1581 is a low now, 1593. Volume on GameStop at the moment is about 1.8 million shares. On SoFi, we're at 778 on 3 million shares. The low of the session, 775. We got the Dow down 170 right now. We've got S&P showing a drop of 14.7 and NASDAQ down 12.3. Oil up 55 cents. Procter & Gamble and Dow Chemicals share losses contribute to the Dow's nearly 175-point decline, the headline says. Signet Jewelers, here's a sign. They beat estimates for the last quarter, but their sales fell 12%. That's one eighth the sales off. This is really telling. The underlying economy of America is showing weakness here and there. And that's what the Fed wants. The Fed wants weakness. But what's happening here is not only have rates topped out at 5%, we've also got another little thing going on that the Federal Reserve can control: the money supply. The Federal Reserve is not buying up bonds like they used to buy up bonds to help support the bond market. They're not buying up bonds. And so the bond market is on its own to absorb all the debt that's coming for renewal and issuance. Going to be interesting to see how much longer this lasts. This is tightening of money, which means the luxury items like Signet Jewelers, diamond rings, and pendants sales are down. I wonder about the cruise business. That is discretionary income. How's that going to go? I don't know. Spicy is convinced that GameStop will drop after earnings. That is the pattern. Alex, Brian, one day they won't even cuddle anymore. Enjoy it while it lasts, even at 4 a.m. I have no idea what they're talking about. I don't think I want to know. Luca, Bruce, AI earnings tomorrow. What to expect? That is the big question, my friend. We'll find out. Will it have any effect on the on the stock or not? I don't know. Stephen Butler, we still get our bills in the mail and we still write checks for many of them. Well, that's fast disappearing, I'll tell you that. Bobby, I still ask for a mail copy just to make them pay a few pennies to send me a bill. Alex says, Bruce, I bought SoFi at 776. Thank you very much. It's on sale. 786, 788 right now, down 8 cents on SoFi. Well done, Alex. Credit Savage of Wall Street. Red market day. Nice. Time for me to shop. I have $600 of free money coming away from opening up a BMO checking account. I would love to sell a $6 SoFi put so I can be assigned. Maybe $6.50, laugh out loud. Marcus is in the house. How you doing, Marcus? Marcus Bauman, hi, Bruce and gang, was lurking the past 15 months. I wanted to ask 3 bullets and hope for short takes of you. Uncle B1, what do you think of Cybertruck and Tesla stock? Number 2 is Spire stock. Is it dead? And then I have to wait for Marcus. Last bullet, here we go. Could I write calls with 50,000? Is that euros that make enough to live off of it? Questions. Well, Brian says possibly, Marcus. Credit Savage says that that Cybertruck is ugly, but practical. Tesla is a great stock to sell puts on, and yes, Spire is dead, alive only in our hearts, laughing out loud. Can you make a living off of 50,000 euros? It depends on what you're writing and how you write, and how active are you managing it, and how aggressive are you or not aggressive. There are people out there who have a million euros or $1 million, and they put the money into a high yielding fund, high yielding money market fund, or that kind of investment. Very conservative, and they bring in 4%, 4.5%, and they really can't live on it because they've saved $1 million by saving 25,000 a year or whatever for year and year and year. With compounding interest, it's now worth $1 million. They're in their 40s or 50s, and they need $5,000-6,000 a month to maintain their lifestyle, and they're bringing in $40,000 a year, and $1 million doesn't cover it with a $40,000 return. It doesn't pay. And if the $40,000 is coming into an IRA that you can't touch until you reach a certain age with tax considerations, well, then you can't live off $1 million. But then there's the opposite. I have viewers of mine who have 401ks in the United States, for example, And they've got, 60,000, 80,000, 100,000 inside 401ks. And they're actually allowed to borrow against their 401k. And I talk to viewers who'll say to me, yeah, I borrowed $50,000 on my 401k. I used 15,000 of that money to pay off my outstanding credit card debt, which was costing me 2% interest a month, which is $300 a month in interest. And I had to come up with another $200-300 in minimum payments. So I was coming up with $600 a month just to carry my credit cards. I've eliminated that by using 15 of the 50 just to get rid of it. I just reduced my cost of living by $600 a month, which I've replaced with a payment to myself. I now owe myself $50,000 plus interest, and I've set up a 3-year or 4-year, whatever year repayment program, and $600 a month of that payment is come from my credit card. So instead of sending $600 to the bankers in Wall Street at 2% interest, I'm sending myself $600 a month to my own 401k to replace this debt. Now, the remaining $35,000 I have left over, I have that outside of my tax account. I can do what I want with that money, and I want to add that to capital I'm already sitting on, and I want to write options, and I want to bring in additional income into my household, which will take the pressure off of maybe my wife who has a part-time job or a full-time job. We want to eliminate the daycare. Our daycare is $2,000 a month, and my wife only makes $3,000 a month. So we want to get rid of the daycare, get rid of my wife's job, replace it with cash flow from this money. And so now we have a better quality of life, number one. Number two, we have a restructured finance situation here because we don't pay $2,000 a month in childcare. The kids are now going to school, being dropped off, being picked up, and have a much higher quality of life for themselves. We have more time with them. Oh, and by the way, I can take $35,000, $50,000 and make quite a bit more money off of that using shrinking options as my strategy to make this all happen. And it's not uncommon where viewers tell me, I'm making 10% a month on my dough. I'm generating like on 50 grand, I'm generating 5,000 a month in cash. Well, 5,000 a month against the $3,000 a month salary, that's a $2,000 raise by dumping that job and taking the 5 instead, not paying 2 out in childcare. Hello, we're actually 4,000 ahead because my wife used to make 3,000 a month, paid 2,000 for childcare. That was 1,000 left over. Now we have 5,000 coming in. We're actually +4 per month. All of a sudden, we're focusing on dad's job. And all of a sudden, dad is going, I get 8,000 a month working, but if I work from home, I'll only get 6. But you know what? I'd rather work from home and make 6 than commute all the time and make 8 because of this 4,000 net coming in the front door over here. Hello, why don't I do that and have more time at home with the family myself? A much better lifestyle and lower costs. I don't have to commute back and forth every day. Wear and tear on the car and my body and everything else. And I have more time to spend with Uncle Bruce and the gang and learn how to write even more options. This is common. Is this enough to quit day jobs? Partially, depending again on where you're at and what it costs you to live on and what you're into. But 50,000 euros is one hell of a head start. But I would recommend before you do any option writing, you better understand what the heck you're trying to get yourself into and what this world of option writing and options are all about. And I hate to sound like a broken record, but go to my website and start with class number 1 and take a class a week. Take 2 classes a week, whatever you got time for. Rewatch them if you need to rewatch them. Once you acquire them, you can watch them again and again. Learn how this is done. Make an investment over the next 3 months to figure out a lot of info about what options are about and how they work. You're a member of the channel, that's an investment. Grab the classes, that's an investment. And build and follow. And you'll start dipping your toe in the water here and there. You'll start doing little trades here and there. You'll figure out whether you need to own stock to write options on it, whether you need to own deep in the money calls to write calls against those, or whether you're going to do cash secured puts where you don't own stock, you just write put contracts, or whether you're going to do credit spreads and don't own stock either. $50,000, 50,000 euros is a lot of power to create a lot of leverage on a lot of different positions, but you better know what you're doing. And again, this is why I come back to this again and again, and I'm going to drive it home. You better know what you're doing, whether you have 5 grand, 20 grand, or 50 grand, or 500,000 or 10 million. You better know what it is you're about and what your risk factors are and what your upside and downside are before you go hog wild into writing options. But it can be very, very, very satisfying, very lucrative. It's a conservative strategy if you play it right, and it gives you a very high success rate of winning. The key here is to have the capital to do it and to not don't pressure the returns, allow the returns to come to you. And that's the secret of this business, to another secret of this business. Again, thank you all for these questions and being here. This is really, really great. Fantastic. What else going on here? Thank you all. Let's go. What else is happening here? Brian is saying SoFi 777. I got a 784 now, 1595 on GameStop. And JR says, I rarely write checks anymore. It's too easy to get cash back from using my credit card to pay bills. Utilities don't like the card, but they take money right out of my account. What a deal this is. Brian, possibly for Marcus here. Brian, depends what you do with it. Credit Savage of Wall Street, Marcus, Cybertruck is ugly but practical. What else we got going here? Brian, so about 58 grand. If you buy 58 deep in the money calls on GameStop and sell some June 18 strike for 365, that's $21,170 into your account. Say you buy back for 50% 2 months later, that's about $5,300 a month before taxes. So yeah, it's possible. There are viewers here who will give you the story. Yes, Blair says depends on spending with 50 grand in Germany, or especially in a country like Poland. It's definitely possible. Worst case, you go somewhere 10 to 15 hours a week for health insurance. Rest is your time. White Feather just sold a SoFi Jan 26 $10 cash secured put for $380. Well done, Splair. Brian, in best case, 50 to 51,000, I think, says Splair. Brian says, oh, yes, 50,000 a year. You could probably quit your job with that kind of money. Brian, I would do 20,000 in GameStop and 20,000 SoFi and 10,000 dry powder for cheap paper and rollovers. There you go. But this is not financial advice. Haha, JR, Marcus, I know we sound like a bunch of magpies on a wire, but take the classes. Those here that talk about how much money they're making have done so. There you are. Can't emphasize it. We never emphasize it enough. We try. Oh, okay, sir. Use some of the 10 grand for classes and a one-on-one. So there you go, Brian. Pat Markley, when is the next SoFi earnings call? January coming up? Brian, Pat Markley, end of January? Yeah, that's what we think. Something at the end of January is kind of when we're coming up for it. Very, very interesting. We're down 156 on the Dow Jones. Make it 164. I just saw a shift there. We've got the S&P down 12, but NASDAQ is green. It's up 2 points. So it's a mixed bag market here. NASDAQ yesterday was the loser, and the others were hanging on. Now they're down, and NASDAQ is the winner. And it's not winning. It's just kind of not falling yet. We'll see how powerful this sell-off really is. If the Dow drops several hundred points, it'll drag everyone else with it. It's a pretty powerful index. What? We'll see how that plays out. We're only into the first, half hour. Oil is up 93 cents a barrel to $73.97 in Texas right now. All righty, there you go. What else? Splair is saying, I'm with Brian. Just speculation based on a couple years of knowledge, no financial advice. Karen, I write checks to the gardener and cleaning people. Cash would work, but I never have any. That's the thing about today's world. A lot of us just don't carry cash around with us anymore. And of course, if you have cash on you, depending on where you are in America, you get pulled over by a traffic officer and they start asking you questions that you don't want to answer. Any cash in your pocket might be deemed drug money, and you're a criminal. They'll take it away from you. It's incredible theft going on by authorities. And cash at a Starbucks, try to use a $50 bill to pay for a cup of coffee. They give you the look, the stink eye. Is this illegal? It's unbelievable, the ridiculousness of how cash has been vilified. in America and elsewhere. It's rather shocking. And yet you go to Germany and you go to Austria and you go to Switzerland and you come to a restaurant and the bill comes in and it's 110 euros and you pull out 50 euros, 20 euros, and they don't even bat an eye. No one bats an eye. Cash is still king over there to a big extent, and not foreign and not unwelcome. Where there are retail stores in North America that refuse to take cash, which is illegal. By the way, it's illegal. It's against the Bank Act, but they try it anyway. It's rather shocking how we've shifted. Anyway, what can I say? It is what it is. The ISM Services Index rises to 52.7 in November from 51.8 in a prior month. What is that? The Industrial Services Manufacturing Index? I'm trying to remember what that stands for, ISM. And I'm not sure how important it is, but it seems to be a bit better. Is it a lot better? Not really, it's just a little better. Splayer says, in Germany, or at least in my city, it's normal. But even here, restaurants come up with only card allowance signs. Still, that's a rarity. That is a rarity. Yeah. There are certain retailers that just don't want cash. They just don't want to use cash at all. I understand it. They don't want to be robbed. In America, I understand it. They don't want to have somebody walking in with a gun saying, "Give me all your cash." They want to be able to say, "Look, buddy, the sign says no cash. We only use credit cards, and you can't rob us for credit card receipts. So go rob somebody else. Please don't shoot me." It is what that is. Spiders are down 43 cents at 456.26. The Qs are up 48 cents, trying a little dead cat bounce, perhaps. I don't know. GameStop 15.94 now on GameStop. The low of the session today, 15.76. 1594, 1595 on GameStop. The volume is 2.8 million, so we might have turned a corner there. Showing SoFi at 787, 788. The low of the day, 775. High of the session, 792. We just touched that a few moments ago on 4.6 million volume. It's down from yesterday, so the selling is not accelerating. It's not heavy. There's light selling, and maybe this is a little dip, and then we run up again. Don't be surprised if this takes place. 1595, we could be at GameStop 1650 in no time. Don't put it past it. Anyway, Flint Creek, your card payment means 3% less money goes to the shop owner. It's like paying banks for the privilege of being in business. I love a check or cash. And there you go. If you're a business owner, you love cash. You really do. You love cash. Credit Savage of Wall Street, not legal advice, though. Flint Creek, I never tip with a card either. Never tip. Tip with cash. Worst case that usually happens with the 50 euros or more is that they take it and it gets into the checking machine. After that, you get your paper with the total amount. Pat Merkley, anybody here have a feel for C3 AI upcoming financial tomorrow? Does anybody have a feel? Anybody have a vibe? Anybody know anything? Can you tell me what's going to happen in the future now, so I know what to do now with regards to the future? Because I don't want to wait for the future. I'm in a hurry to make money now. I'm nervous. I want to know. AI is down 43 cents. I can tell you that. It's at 29.88. I can tell you that. That's it. The low, I can tell you, 29.17. We're now at 29.86. We've recovered a long way from the low of the day. I can tell you that. 1.9 million traded. I can tell you that. The market cap of the company, $3.5 billion. It's a very low-priced company in the scheme of AI. It is not a $35 billion or $300 billion company. The upside is phenomenal. I can tell you there's a huge short position against this stock, that there's a short position that's trying to crush this market to $5 a share. I can tell you that. I like that, though. I kind of like that situation. There are buyers waiting in the wings to buy this stock when provoked to do so. It would be lovely if the company were to come out and say, our sales are humming right along, and we're upping our forecasts for next year. We're upping our numbers. We think we can sell more product. We have orders for more product. That's what I want to hear. I want to hear nothing but good things on AI, but I can't guarantee that we're going to get it. That's all I know. Splayer says, in case of tipping, I'm with Flint, especially because you don't know how much you get. It's better to tip personally, in my opinion. JR, dang, my Apple iron condors were shrinking nicely, and now the Mag 7 pop. Could be a dead cat bounce. Wouldn't be surprised if it is a dead cat bounce. Where are we at right now? Apple 194.22 at 479. We were dipping yesterday as low as or 187, and yeah, what was it on the November 30th? 188. The 52-week high 198. They are trying to announce all kinds of AI initiatives and this type of thing, but well, we'll see there, JR. Splair, Pat, have you missed the Black Friday crystal ball discount for fortune tellers? Just kidding, because I love those questions. Pat, I need some insider info. Come on, man. A deep value, wow, NASDAQ. That's what's going on. We're up 54 points. Whoop-de freaking do. We're down 134 on the Dow. We're down 259, 2.59 on S&P, and we're up 55 on NASDAQ. So get ready for volatility. Is Jen here? Oh my gosh. Jen, come on in and say hi to the gang. How are you this morning, Jennifer?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good. We're getting ready for the show here. Here we go there. Yeah, I got the whiteboard just to remind people that Jen and I will be on the air together Saturday morning if you dare show up.
I know you're only 4'8", but that's a little ridiculous.
Yeah, that's almost as tall as I am. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get my stilts on and find a way to make it appear that I'm much taller than what people think I am.
Appear.
I must appear to be taller. Yes, indeed. Fun times. We got a little sell-off going on here in the market. Mixed bag. Some stocks are up, some stocks are down. We're trying to figure out where the market's going to go. I have viewers asking me, Bruce, listen, I only have an 8-second attention span. Just tell me what to buy now. That's going to make me a millionaire tomorrow. Would you just help a guy out?
Just tell me.
Stop with this long-term thinking stuff.
Yeah, just tell me what to do.
You're driving me nuts, man. I only have an 8-second attention span, just like my kids.
But
help me out, man.
If you tell them what to do,
yeah,
then they don't get any of that personal pride when they do something and they make the money themselves.
Yeah. Have you thought of that? Oh, no, you haven't thought of that. No, they don't care.
See, you have to treat them like they are your children, and you want to teach them and educate them so that they can get up and fly away, little birdie.
You're boring, Auntie Jen. You're boring. White Feather, good morning, Auntie Jen. Larry Titus, good morning, Auntie Jen. JR, good morning, Auntie Jen. Marcus is saying, thanks for your input, guys. I am from Germany and only hesitate to take the classes because I fear not figuring out how to do this from here. A different country rules anyone using Uncle's Way in Germany. Splair, good morning, Auntie Jen. And now we're getting occasionally Bruce's body. Hey, maybe Sofi will pop above 8 again today. Splair, you will need First Trade or IBKR Interactive Brokers. See, Splair knows, Marcus. Splair's in Germany. Splair is writing options. Splair is doing all kinds of trading. Splair is taking the lessons. Splair is going to be a multi-millionaire around here. It's only a matter of time.
Is the envy of them all.
Absolutely. Alberto. Auntie Jen, how you doing?
How you doing, Alberto?
How you doing, Alberto? How you doing? Touchgrass. Marcus joined the Discord as well. And Splair, otherwise out of Germany, it's almost impossible to write calls, probably to hold it down. Brian, Marcus, lots of folks in Germany from Berlin. Once you get used to it, it's really straightforward. And always keep it simple, stupid. Keep it simple, stupid. Right. We have Wing Commander in Munich writing contracts. We have a number of investors in Germany that are doing options.
We have other lurkers, I'm sure.
Yeah, we do. We have people in Britain. We have people in Denmark. We have viewers in Copenhagen. They're all over Europe. Marcus, you need to do some homework as to which firm is the best, but Splair has got good advice. First Trade, IBKR, which is International Brokers. This is who you can use to do what we do. So get working. Start investigating this. Farmless, Jen needs more entrance music. Brett the Hitman Hart, maybe, or Chris Jericho. Since you guys are Canadians, some Stampede Wrestling music. Good morning, Uncle Bruce from Zed.
The Hitman music.
Yeah, Luca, IBKR for us Europeans. There's another. Italy. There you go. Ciao, Auntie Jen, my dear, from Luca.
Ciao, Luca.
Zeta State. Where are you, Luca? Where are you now?
He's a world traveler.
Yes, he is. Zeta State. Good morning, Auntie Jen.
Good morning, Zed. How's it in BC? Do you know that Calgary's supposed to be a high of 16 today?
Going to be in the 50s today. Tiff is somewhere in Germany in a secret bunker, says Blair.
Oh,
That's
yes,
right.
that's
Tiff
right.
also. Beach Boy, Auntie Jen, if this Bruce guy can't say in 8 seconds how we can be zillionaires, you need to divorce him right now. 8 seconds. Go, go, go.
That's right. You've had a way more than 8 seconds from me.
Come on, it's about time to come. It's time. Pat Merkley, I'm a multimillionaire on paper. Unfortunately, I can't find Z papers. I cannot find Z papers, but I'm a millionaire on paper. Where are my papers? I have no idea.
I know that all on those paper profits and paper losses.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Luca says, I'm back in Italy, but I'm off to Toronto as of Sunday for a week. Nice. Who did you upset to have to go to Toronto in the second week of December? What is going on over there?
Know. It could be.
You must have said something to somebody. Marcus Touchgrass says, I think I joined the Discord channel 2 years ago, but had burnout and ever since did not touch my gaming laptop where I had Discord on exclusively. Is the server still active? And Splair, in case of first trade, don't use it with Sparkazi. Otherwise, every deposit withdrawal will cost you 70 euros, Marcus. Splair, then it's probably the old Discord. You're probably on the old Discord. Luca, haha, don't go to Toronto. Don't do it. I'm thinking IBKR might be the place to go for you. Discord, if you want to get on the Discord channel, send me a private email. Any of you out there, here's the email address right here, brucefarmer@hotmail.com. Send me a private email. Say, Bruce, can you help me get onto Discord? I'll send you an email link that'll help you get there. Because there is a
do that for them as well.
No, Bruce Boy is not doing that right now. He's got too many other things on his plate, to say the least. But there are a number of viewers, a high number of Gold Bagel members of this channel who are definitely into the Discord channel, and they compare notes there and talk about what I talk about with you every day. So you may find that is a very helpful place to go to get some advice regarding which platform you want to consider using for what you're doing. But definitely the classes are step number one are these classes. You got.
I want to know how Beach Boys' children are.
How are Beach Boys' children doing, Beach Boy? Let us in on that. What's going on here? Luca wants to know, can anyone educate me quickly on what the Discord channel is? I just mentioned it. Luca, if you want in on that, send me a private email and I'll send back a link for you so that you can go and check them out.
It's just, the community helping each other.
That's correct. That is correct.
Yeah. And I think it's evolved into a very fair, nice.
Oh, it's highly regulated. Gentle. No trolls allowed.
No
Tiff really runs a tight ship over there. It's beautiful. Beach Boy, Auntie Jen, leave the guy. Take the cannoli.
Take the cannoli. Yeah. Always take the cannoli.
Always take the cannoli. Auntie Jen, leave the guy. Take the cannoli. Okay. Beach Boy, godmother. There you go. Okay.
The fairy godmother.
The fairy godmother. There you go. Luca, no worries, Uncle Bruce. I'm going to be in Australia in January. Nice and hot.
Oh, nice.
Way to go, pal. Yes, indeed. It will be nice and hot for you down there. You'll avoid the winter.
The guy makes the air miles.
He makes miles. This guy is getting miles. Alberto, the Discord is great for trading tips and general chats. I go on it once in a while too.
Yeah.
There you go. See? There it is. I don't participate in the Discord channel. It's not me. It's not mine. I don't do it. Tiff runs it, and it's your forum. You guys chat about whatever you want to chat about, which includes me, I suppose. But I'm not part of it. Maybe use the headline Discord so that Uncle Bruce can find your email earlier. Beach Boy, a family's okay, one day at a time. Right on, my friend. One day at a time. Right on, sir. Good. Right on. Absolutely, one day at a time.
Nothing but good thoughts coming your way.
That's right. That's nothing but good thoughts from us. GameStop 1604 kits. We're back over $16 on your GameStop. We were as low as 1576. The Dow's still off 175 points. What do we got here? Spiders are down 60. The Qs are up about 70. GameStop 1605. SoFi back to 790. It's only down 7 cents here. Apple up 421 at 193.94. Netflix up 39, but Adobe down 860. AI down just 40 cents. Nvidia's up 860. Tesla's up 628 at the moment. So it's a mixed market right
Where's our
now.
oil today?
Oil is up 96 cents a barrel to $74.
Okay.
Not going anywhere in an awful hurry. Just not going anywhere fast. Yep, we got the S&P down 6.2. The Nasdaq's only up 50 though. It got 55, 60. Now only up 50. Now it's only up 47. Dead cat bounce maybe in a continued dip. I don't know. Alberto, I think Uncle Bruce goes on silently to the Discord site and follows me because he knows I'm still the idiot nephew. Beach Boy says, thanks, Auntie Jen. Marcus Splair, thank you for your response. I have to admit, I don't comprehend it. I made money in lockdown by trading GameStop and holding. Back then, I was unable to start what Bruce advised because of fear. JR, so job openings are falling. More evidence that Uncle Bruce's prediction at interest rates won't fall anytime soon. Alex, Alberto, he reads your messages and tuts disapprovingly.
Uh-oh.
I don't know what that means. The Credit Savage of Wall Street. I never go into this. I don't even know how to get there. I honestly don't go there. Credit Savage rolled 5 January. $30 covered calls. I received 260 2 weeks ago. I rolled them to 32.50s for April and received another $2 yesterday. Also, I bought back a $40 AI January 24 cash secured put and rolled out to July 35. Took in 250 plus $5. This is how it's done. My goodness. This is how we do it. Alberto, Alex is laughing. Brian, the Credit Savage of Wall Street, keep rolling and rolling and rolling. Deep value. The VIX is up another 5%. Brian, Sofi wants to go back to $8. Alex, good morning, Auntie Jen from Alex.
Good morning, Alex.
Alex
Good
from
afternoon,
Manchester.
Alex.
Thank you, pal. 1602 on GameStop, 1602, 1605, 790 on SoFi, with the Dow off 184 points. The Nasdaq still up 46, but slipping just a little. Splair, I'm with you. I had even the fear that this is fake, but it isn't. Now I regret not starting an hour earlier. Maybe my lovely Deju would spend then his last days already in Portugal. I don't know what that means. As Pat Merkley, neat for SoFi and AI.
Yeah,
Splair, it's definitely worth the time. I only go part-time working and save money monthly. There you go. You can enter. Yeah, you can enter this option business very slowly and carefully. Many have. Many viewers. They found this channel and they followed me a while and they thought,
do the pretend account.
Yeah, well, it depends on where you are.
Right.
Certain firms
Right,
will allow you to set up a platform and you can do pretend money. And you can literally write options. You can do iron condors, cash secured puts, covered calls, deep in the money calls.
And then you get used to the physicality of it too.
How to enter the orders, how the platform works, using the platform services, some of their suggested.
You can always write it down on paper, but with the pretend account, you get used to the.
That's right. A lot of viewers on this channel started with pretend accounts, then they went into one option at a time, 3 maybe 5, very 10% of their portfolios. Capital was used for option writing just to kind of get a feel for it. And
toes in the water.
As time went by, some stayed there for a long time. Others quickly ramped it up because they began to realize, oh Lord, is this easy? I can't believe this is legal.
Yeah. If it worked for one, it worked for 10.
Yeah, and what a lot of viewers find out here, again, by doing it, you really get it. They figure out, he's right. This old man, he talks about how institutions do this by thousands of contracts at a time. They do multi-$1,000 contract positions every day, every hour of the day. And I'm trying to do 5 or 10 or 20. I can do exactly the same thing that these massive institutional traders are doing, handling millions and billions of dollars at a time. And I'm doing it with hundreds and thousands. You're not going to dominate any option market. You can really participate in this to your heart's content, whatever's comfortable for you. Anyway, it's okay. Very interesting stuff. What else is going on? Listen to Uncle B from Splair. Bobby Atkinson, I started so slow. I only wrote one contract for a year. Brian, which stock is going to the moon on Thursday, December 7th at 9:05 a.m.?
Okay,
AI, Sofi, GameStop. And thank you in advance, Bruce. Appreciate the advice. Can you hurry up? I only have 8 seconds. Give me the answer. Splair, I hear you, buddy. I've got some pets getting up into the older age. I'm not looking forward to losing them. BW heat map for all indices. We're all red except Apple as the lone green. Now the other 6 of the 7s are turning green. Tax loss selling into ATH, end of the year on the indices. When you've seen that before, Uncle Bruce, Andy Jen, have you seen this before? Credit Savage of Wall Street, a bit of advice, keep an Excel spreadsheet of your trades. So every few times a year, you can crunch numbers and see where you're at and how you've been doing. Hard to see day to day, big difference in a few months.
Can't manage what you don't measure. You got to measure.
Got to measure how you're doing. Exactly. 1593 again on GameStop, 791 on Sofi.
I'm nothing but cliches this morning.
We're nothing but cliches, Auntie Jen is saying.
Toes in the water.
Toes in the water.
Can't manage what you don't measure.
Can't. Yeah, that's right. One day at a time. Gotta get dressed to play.
Baby steps.
Baby steps.
Nothing but cliches.
There's only Zool.
That's where our daughter would be rolling her eyes.
Our daughter's going nuts. A bit of advice. What was this comment here? Luca, been learning a lot this year, taking one lesson at a time and applying myself. Yes, I made mistakes again, but definitely the best investment of my life so far. There you go. Nice. Right on, Luca. It comes. I try to repeat it as much as I can. I forget sometimes, but there are other channels out there that will show you how options work, and they offer courses. But what you don't realize is some cases, some of these courses that are offered out there are thousands of dollars in cost. I mean, they have like a monthly thing or they have a yearly thing, and you're talking, $3,000, $5,000, $8,000. I've seen courses up to $10,000 on how to create options, how options work. I've seen day trading classes that are $5,000. Again, they don't advertise that up front, but the hidden deep fine print, you'll find, it's serious.
It's almost like they feel they need to charge more for people to acknowledge that this is important stuff.
Well,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
I can't sell potatoes for too cheap.
Right.
I have to sell them a little bit higher so people recognize they're people food, not pig food.
Fair enough. But there is no such thing as a 15-minute course to success.
No.
In any part of the investment business. Nothing like that at all. It doesn't exist. There are words of advice, and there are sayings that can be given you that you can, that's deep meaning. But if you want to really be a winner in the investment business, you have to understand the investment business from all sides, not just your side, the whole picture. You have to understand
everything.
You got to understand your adversary. So many of these option trading sites, they don't tell you or zero in on why is it that you can always find a buyer when you want to sell something or a seller when you want to buy something. Whoever is on the opposite side of your trade is thinking completely in reverse of you. Why is that? They can't be stupid every single time. There has to be a reason why there's this kind of liquidity. And you've got to understand it. You've got to recognize what it is you're up against. But when you do understand the option market, like we try to get you to understand it, you'll understand that Uncle Bruce is trying to help you make money, even if you're not 100% correct. Because if you do the right option strategy trading, where you sell options up here and buy them down here,
you can adjust.
You are not trying to sell a contract for $5 and not buy it back at all and score all $5. There are many a time where you sell a contract for $5 and buy it for $2. You sell a contract for $4.50 and buy it for $1.75. You leave on the table the last of the change and move on to the next trade because the profit is so much more likely the chance of success is 95, 98% if you take this segment of the trade as your profit and leave the rest of it to the speculators. This is the key to keep you out of trouble and keep you into the win zone. And this is why when you watch my trade alerts as a Gold Bagel member, you see time and time again the probability of success of this particular trade is 78%, 83%, 88%, 90%. Conservative, mid-range move, not extremism, down the middle, where the money is. I try to steer you there and get you away from the extremes. And that's where the craziness is. That's where the losses are, the extremes. The middle portion is where the fat is. That's where the returns are. You got to want it, kids. You got to want to understand how this works, and it's going to take time. Who says something here?
I want my coffee.
Jen wants to go. So I have other comments to read, but we'll let Jen go first to have her coffee. All right, Miss Jennifer.
Bye, guys. Have a really good Tuesday.
Yes, indeed. They're working it. The kids are working it big time.
Bye.
See you later, Jen. Thank you. Here we go. Credit Savage. It is how I measured. I am destroying Wall Street big heads by damn near 40% this year. I am so proud of that. Splair. JR, it's always hard to enjoy the time that we're getting. Thanks to our buddy Uncle B, and try to forget the working stress. Keep in mind that time passes by. Our work mostly isn't leaving. Credit Savage. It starts with class freaking number one, kids. I hate sounding like an infomercial, but it is so true. Take a dang class. Do the work. Put in time. Trade. Sell one cover call. It comes together. JR. For those of you expressing fear of getting into options, I made many mistakes in my first year and a half. I lost some money. So listen to Uncle B, ask questions, take classes, and if something goes south, ask more. Oh yeah, made my money back from following Uncle Bruce. Beach Boy, Moody's cuts China's debt outlook. BW, legit, you teach conservative option writing strategies for people to make money. Can you be more risky and make money too? Sure, but you both are teaching conservative assassins of the premium, and that's the game right here. I want you guys to be around a while. I want you guys to be in the market for as long as you want to be in the market. I want you to be able to not fear the market and worry about, oh, well, I made money, but now I'm going to give it away. I don't want to lose it. There's so many investors out there who will not sell a winning position because they're winning in the position. And they're going, oh, I'm winning. Why would I sell it? Because I'm afraid to make my next move. That's the actual answer. I'm afraid to lock in a gain and move into another position because I'm not sure if I'm going to be as good as the last time. And with the option business, you have to move. The shrinkage of time forces you to do another trade. You're not into an option trade for 20 years. You're in for 20 days, 5 weeks, 2 months, 3 months. You have to make moves all the time. And you become very proficient at figuring out where your next move is coming from. And this is going to be so exciting for so many of you who are going to be here. I'm so proud of you, and I'm so excited for you. Brian says, I'm almost 3 years in the market now. Uncle Bruce saved me. Took about 1.5 years to finally be comfortable with selling and buying covered calls. And now I understand stock language, which is very foreign to most people. White Feather, I don't think there's one single member here who hasn't made more profits than they paid for their classes. I doubt. Splair, by the way, just in case, wishing you all already a successful day. We'll catch you tomorrow. Thank you, Splair. Richard, Sofi is even for the day. Is that right? 789. We touched it. Then we're backed off a little bit, but we'll get there. Comical. It's official. Anti-Gen has hands, feet, and legs. BW lost my corporate job. Lost my corporate job in January after layoffs announced for the Magnificent Seven. Was learning this at the time, ain't going back to work. My salary monthly has been replaced. Next up, replacing my wife's salary. So we work for us. There you go. Credit Savage, the great thing about classes is you get to ask the damn teacher if something doesn't make sense. He literally is here for us 5 times a week. Look, if you take class number 1, class number 7, class number 9, whatever class you take, you don't understand something, join me on this live show and ask me a question about class number whatever. There's something you don't get. I'm here. Ask the teacher live 5 days a week. Can you do that on any other option courses out there, stock market courses out there? Really? Will they actually take your question and talk? You can send me a private email and I'll answer that as best I can. There is service behind the sale. It's sales and service. That used to be a big deal in America. Alberto, can you make $30,000 a month? Easily apply the classes and get a one-on-one. There you go. Luca, geez, BW, that's something. Marcus, thanks for the input. Bruce has helped me stay calm when I was 90% down in stocks. So I full-heartedly trust this man with my life. My problem is I'm unsure how to translate his advice to trading from Germany. There you go. One step at a time, Marcus. Brian, Marcus, get back on the Discord. Ask Tiff to get on. There's a German chat on there. Lots of people who can help you and maybe trust Auntie Jen with your life, not Uncle Bruce. It's Auntie Jen you trust. There you go. You believe Uncle Bruce, but you don't trust him. Or you trust him, but you don't believe him. But Auntie Jen you can trust with your life. There you go. Marcus, who's AJ? Who's Auntie Jen? Oh, is he new? Yeah, you are new. You're gonna have to stick around here a while. Who's Auntie Jen? Oh my God. GameStop, $15.99. $15.99 on GameStop. The low was $15.76 for a brief time, and we're at $15.99, $15.98 right now. Okay, that's the story. I'm sticking to it. The Dow is off 101. That's all. S&P is down 1.6. The Nasdaq down is up 46, and oil is up 72 cents. There it is. There it is. We'll see what's going on. SoFi 792 down 4 cents. We're going to be probably higher here. Probably. I think so. Auntie Jen, that's who AJ is. She's Auntie Jen. Now I know. The credit savers of Wall Street, there's a reason some people on here have taken 401k money and are now raking in way better return than the 401k was giving them elsewhere. That is true. A number of people here have taken this important step to analyze their returns. How many people on this channel have figured out that the returns that I was getting for my 401k through my work is 4 and 5% a year? In some cases, I broke even for an entire year. How many people have told me, I can't tell you how many times, people have told me that they get their statements from their wealth advisors and managers, and they made 2%. They made nothing. But the firm took 2% off the top of their money. I've had that happen here. I've had that been told to me a gazillion times. You don't go around twice, you don't get your 30s back once you're in your 40s. You don't get your 40s back when you're in your 50s. You're running out of time now to make a difference. This 20-year window from your 30s to 40s to 50s is over. Time to get returns. Alberto, Credit Savage, facts. Closing out remainder of my 401k theft account this January to manage my own money. BW, Luca, yep. When you want that extra drink at a bar or splurge for something not needed, I stop and think, how many shares would that buy and how close to my next 100 per share lot options work? Blair, comical name, love you. Look, you gotta want it. You have to have this attitude, a new way of thinking. And it's me first. It's my returns first, and then we'll see what happens. I cannot emphasize to you how many millions of Canadians and Americans and Europeans have got trillions of dollars tied up in these managed pension things that they're into, that they have the ability, if they so desired, to take control of this money for themselves. I tell you, if you owe $50,000 in credit card debt and you've got $30,000 in your 401k, okay, that's not enough money to pay off your credit card debt. But if you could borrow as much of that $30,000 as humanly possible against yourself and take as much of that money. Let's say you can get 25,000 of it. Take the 25 grand and put it towards your credit cards. You knock that down by half, okay? Your credit card interest payments will drop by $500 a month, right? Just half of it. The minimum payment is still due on the other 25,000, and what what that is, you'll have to keep paying that, but you'll have halved by half your minimum credit payments per month by replacing it with a $25,000 loan to yourself at probably 6% interest that you'll have to pay yourself. Pay yourself 6% interest rather than pay 24% to the bankers. That's 18% a year gain to you. And when you make these minimum payments on these credit cards, you're paying after-tax money to these credit cards. That's the scariest thing. To pay 24% a year interest to the credit card company, you have to generate 35% money to pay after tax the 24% to give the credit card, plus the principal they want every month. If you're able to roll some of your credit card debt into 0% credit card debt, take it from one card to another card, and then knock off the rest of it that you owe with a 401k loan, and now have all your credit card debt at 0% if there's any left at all, and you're now just making a minimum payment per month on principal, you are so many thousands of dollars ahead of the curve. It's unbelievable. Your cash flow situation has improved dramatically. This would, any extra money you now you have at your disposal, you throw at the balance of the credit card at 0% interest. So it is at zero or as close to zero when it starts charging you interest again. This is what you have to do. You've got to take control of your debts and your assets to maximize returns. In 3 years, 4 years, you'll have paid back your 401k in full, plus the interest. It'll have now, instead of 30,000, it'll have 40,000 in there, 45, because you put that money in there by paying yourself back. If you then still only have a $10,000, $15,000 credit card bill outstanding, borrow another 25 grand or 30 grand at whatever percent and pay off the rest of the debt. Eliminate all those payments to the credit card, which will more than equal the payment you have to make to yourself. And now you have some cash outside that you can manage, plus your cash flow that will build cash outside. It's time, kids. It is time. It is a one-way street to the end. You've got to make this pay. Oh my gosh. I don't know. What else? Alberto says, BW, when asked about a vacation, a car, a house, I speak in lots, in numbers of covered calls. Let's see, to buy that car, I'm going to have to write so many covered calls. To take that vacation, I'm going to have to write this many covered calls. It's a whole new world. Beach Boy, Alberto, in credit strategy we trust. Alberto, boom, Beach Boy, boom, you got it. Chase, Uncle Bruce, I spent the day rolling my options both up and out yesterday, worried about GameStop and AI. Brian, BW, that is how I used to think in university. How much beer does that cost? That sweater is about 5 pitchers of beer. Funny how our outlook changes. Alex, Rosita, don't worry, get paid to roll. Your stock, deep in the money calls are gaining value. Life is good. JR, yes, pay off those cards, folks. That interest is cash flying out the window, never to be seen again. Say goodbye to those greedy bastards who want to suck money from your account. Marcus, hey, I'm not new. How old am I, Uncle Bruce? In membership time, I listened to you for hours in the thousands. Right on, Marcus. Thank you so much for your following me here. Dude, I'm looking into that myself. My work 401k is a group plan managed by Raymond James. They are recommending I just remove cash from the 401k over taking a loan. No. You take over that account and control it completely. You borrow against your own 401k, pay off the damn loan with it, and then pay yourself back plus interest. That is your best move. Don't let them manage your money. You manage your money. Become your own banker. Credit Savage, number one rule of credit card hacking and points is never carry a balance and pay interest. Use your cards as you would a debit card. Never live beyond your means. Debt can suffocate some folks, and it does. It sneaks up on people, and it does. Thank you all for being here. GameStop right now at 1587 down 111. SoFi now 791 down 5 cents. Spiders are down a dime. The Qs are up 127. We have the Dow off 127. S&P down 1 point. NASDAQ up 60. Oil up 82 cents. There's where we're at. Procter & Gamble to book more than $2 billion in charges for limited restructuring and Gillette impairment. That we know what that means. Layoffs, payouts of fewer lower staff. Brian, debt at 30% will suffocate anyone. Exactly. JR, the credit savage of Wall Street, dems the facts. You are right. Marcus, is it possible to check my membership age? I need to know how old I am. I'm not 100% sure. Your avatar. What color is your avatar that you have, Marcus? It's purple. Is that some of the older Alberto's purple, Beach Boys purple? That means you've been a member as long as these guys. It could be from the earliest of days. I don't know if there's an older color of membership. I'm not actually 100% sure on that. Pretty cool bean stuff, I say. Thank you all for your loyalty to this channel. It is absolutely wonderful. Much appreciated. Memberships, again, thank you all who've been here as long as you have. Absolutely wonderful that you're here. Membership levels, like I say, it's been a while. I think there's a way for you to know, actually. There's a way for you to find out exactly how long you've been a member, and isn't that where you hit the $ underneath the chat bar, and then you say it tells you how long you've been a member. Untamed Viking has just done it. Let's see. Dude, it seems that they said the fees are higher for the loan than just taking an early withdrawal. Fair enough. I can do a better job managing my money. Thanks to Uncle Bruce and the classes. Lobo Blast. I pulled money against my 401k. Half went to pay off all my credit cards. The other half is powder on my Schwab account. I'm ready to buy deep in the money. Cover calls for AI or SoFi. Untamed Viking says, been a member for 26 months. The free membership chat will tell you. Cindy B, member for 23 months. Just go to the donate button. You'll find it there. Alberto, I did the math, says Alberto. My 401k has made me 6% in a good year. Covered calls and cash reports, I make a minimum of 5% a month, usually 20%. Yes, a month, not a year. Get rid of those thieves that manage your money. Richard, 2 years, 8 months, 17 days right here. Marcus, here we are. Whoop, whoop, that's the new Discord. What's the new Discord? Richard, sorry, Marcus, 32 months. Right on, buddy. JR, Uncle Bruce, just bought back my GameStop covered calls for $291. Rode out to April 19 and moved up to $16 strike in order to pull in $4. Let's go, baby. Nice job. Brian, nice roll, says Brian. Karen D, member for 15 months, but lurking from the beginning, Uncle Bruce. Brian, hopefully we need to roll more this week. Go GameStop, go. Beach Boy, member for 32 months. A new guy here. What's a covered call? Who's Uncle Bruce? Where are the pile dancers? I'm so confused. Oh my gosh, 118 thumbs ups, and the members are letting the world know how long they've been members. I can only say thank you. Love to you all. It is so grateful. I'm so grateful for all of your participation on this channel. Of course, we do not ignore and cannot ignore the Knights of Knee. We cannot ignore them, and so we must honor the Knights of Knee by putting the knees out there right now. 1568 on GameStop, 792 on SoFi. Neat. We cannot ignore the Knights of Knee. Richard knows, Brian knows, Untamed Viking knows, Hector knows, the Big E knows. Neat, followed by a Z. Absolutely, time to honor the Knights of Knee. Absolutely, do not ignore these guys. You're just screwing yourself if you do that. Alberto says, Alberto says here, I work for a financial institution that uses my 401k money to pay my salary. The amount I have in the 401k, they hedge and make my salary plus. Boils my ass thinking of this. I can't wait until January. I'm going to pull that out of there. Deep Value is putting on the knee emojis. Hector. Brian and Marcus, do you know about the Knights of Knee? I'm thinking Marcus does know about the Knights of Knee. Deep Value Options. Larry Titus. I'm here, Bruce. Don't forget me. I'm here. I honor the Knights of Knee as well. We don't ignore the Knights of Knee. Absolutely. Thank you, everybody, for doing that. Thanks again to those of you who are members of this channel, who are subscribers to this channel. And looking forward to seeing a bunch of you on Saturday morning, noon Eastern anyway, for lesson number 17. We're going to talk about all kinds of rollover stuff. We're going to talk about taking bad trades and making them good trades. We've got work to do, and we're not afraid to move forward. Karen, D.H. Ruda, JR, the knees are coming in left, right, and center. Thank you all very much for being here today and part of following us, being part of this gang. Love that you're here. Let's see, where else are we at here? Making sure I don't miss anybody's messages. Got them all. DH, Karen, JR. There we go, baby. We're here. 1564 on GameStop. We've got pressure today. We seem to have an up day followed by a down day. Then we have several more up days, down day. We got action, kids. We've got activity on these stocks, far more than we had 2 weeks ago. Far more. GameStop right now down 135 at 1563. We have volume of 4.8 million, far lower than yesterday. Which is telling me that the selling is dry. There isn't much of it. SoFi, 794. The low was 775 in the first 30 minutes. 794 down just a penny on SoFi on 8.5 plus million. So same thing. We're recovering here. A little more, obviously, GameStop on the lower end of the session, but SoFi coming on. Marcus, yes, Brian, I know the Knights. I started lurking when the lamp was starting to be crooked out there. What lamp are you talking about? Beach Boy, Alberta, just throw some vegetables and herbs and let simmer for an hour and you'll get a nice soup for the winter. JR. Okay, I got to get ready for a shower. Contractor to come in to continue and get an inspection today. Options are great. Life is good. Thank you, Uncle B, for all you do for us. Smiling, JR. Right on, pal. Thanks. It's great to be back in California, buddy. Thank you, my friend. Good to hear from you, and thanks for joining us today. Beach Boy, a shame to let this boiling go to waste, Primo. Absolutely a shame to let it go to waste. We have 118 thumbs ups. Thank you, kids, for those. If you're able to hit the thumbs up button, please do. Appreciate it. Luca is hitting the knee emojis. Neat. Have a great day from Touchgrass. Thank you, my friends. Love you all. Hearts to all of you out there. Thank you all for being part of this great gang of ours. Smiley faces and whoop, 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 whoop. Way to go, kids. Making money in the options market. Keep taking it. Take the money from these losers. They're handing it to you like you can't believe. And why not? Grab the gusto. Go for the win. Yes, sir, Alex, for the win. Absolutely. That's what you want to be doing. Thank you all so much for all your support of our channel today. Fabulous. Great times. 1558 on GameStop. Hey, you want to come down a little bit? Come down a little bit. That's all right. That's okay. Deals to be taken out and sellers to be taken away. I guess we'll find out when the results come out tomorrow after the bell. We'll find out what GameStop says, and we'll see how the stock does Thursday and Friday. We'll find out. I don't know if we're going to 11 or if we're going to 21. Kind of wonder which direction are we going to go on this thing. Could be most entertaining. I think so. All righty, kids, there you go. Neat emojis are all over the place. Thank you so very much. Have a great day from Touchgrass. Dude, have a lovely day, everybody. Lame Duck, neat. Grad Savage, meet and greet soon in Southern California. The earliest will be probably March. We need Auntie Jen to go in for her surgery in a few weeks and then recovery. And then we'll set up a meet and greet. So stand by. Tomorrow is AI earnings call too, Bruce. Yeah, we're busy. Got lots to watch, lots to follow, and that's what we'll do. We'll be around for all of it. Thank you all for your continuing support of this channel. Subscribe today, become a member today, become a Gold Bagel member, and enjoy all the perks. Thank you all for your commentary today and always being part of this channel. Love it. Make that moolah, JR saying, make the moolah, baby. BW, AI would be parked here in this SP range till ER tomorrow. Real natural price movement, says BW. All right, kids, there you have it. We've come up to the 2-hour mark of the show. Thanks for following me from Palm Desert, California today. Have a great rest of your session today. And if you have any questions on what's going on, let me know. And those of you who are wanting in on class number 17 this weekend, make a donation here to the PayPal account down below, $150 and send me a private email at brucefarmert@hotmail.com telling me just sent you $150. I'm in. Make sure to send me a link to this email address Saturday morning, and I will be there with the gang. And thank you all. Let's make you richer and richer and richer and keep you away from costly mistakes. Thank you so much for your support. We appreciate it. We'll see you first thing tomorrow morning again for another fun day of trading these options and following the markets in plain English. Take care, everybody. Talk to you later. Bye for now.